Hello crazy fam, welcome to downtown LA apartment hunting with prices and locations because I feel like there's not enough of these videos out there. And our first stop is going to be Renaissance Tower. It is located right in the middle of downtown LA, surrounded by the skyline, easily walkable to restaurants, the Staples Center, and it's actually going to be our most affordable option. So this is the cheapest that I could find in the area, and it is gated around Hope Park, which is this little green space in the middle of the city. And
we're about to see 510, like unit 510. It's $1,710. It's on the 5th floor. So this is definitely going to be our cheapest option today. And we're going to go all the way up to like 3,000 something for a 1-bedroom. So price ranges a lot. Let's go see it.
When you first walk in, there's this coat closet right here, and then you go into the kitchen space. It's a little bit smaller than I was expecting it to be. It feels a lot tighter in person, but thank goodness you do have a space for bar stools, so you wouldn't need a dining room table, and it's still a pretty good sized kitchen if you're living by yourself or maybe just with a partner. And then the living room space, it's kind of dark and you are looking straight out to another building, so you do not have city views. If you walk a little bit closer, you can see a little bit to the side, but your main view is going to be that building. And I wasn't a huge fan of that, and I also wasn't a huge fan. This room is tiny. I don't even think the camera picks up how small this room is. I'm not even sure where you'd really put a bed because these nooks kind of get in the way. It's very tight, and then they have these two doors right here, one to the bathroom and one to the closet. So thank goodness it's small, but it is a good size closet. It's actually the biggest closet we saw of all 3 units today, and it has nook spaces, hanging spaces, overall a good amount of storage, and then the bathroom. So your guests would have to walk through your room to go to the bathroom. At least you do have a pretty good amount of counter space, and you have cabinet space, and then you do have a shower. There's no tub, but I still think it's a pretty good size shower, and you don't need a tub. It's just this door. It freaking hits the toilet. Like, I can't explain to you how weird it is and how much you can't even prevent it. Because even if you look at the floor plan, the door hits the toilet. So weird. And the bedroom has the same view as the living room. You're just going to be looking out at that building. And overall, I would say it's a pretty good unit. I just feel like if you spent a little bit more money, you get a lot more. But this building, the biggest perk is the amenities. It has a rooftop deck. It has a sky lounge. It has even a fitness center. I just forgot to show you guys that. This is what it looks like. And when you walk out onto the main pool deck, you're going to see this amazing view. I definitely think it is the main selling factor of this building because you're not going to get a view like that, especially in this price range anywhere else. So I would say that part is amazing. And also there is plenty of seating up here, plenty of space to lounge out and hang out with friends. And it does look like the pool area is closed. It said it was under construction, which is very unfortunate. And I did end up asking the building, and they have no clue when it's even going to be done. It does have nice games though. They didn't have these when I lived there, nor did they have the bikes. So it'd be nice to sit out and bike with this view, especially at night, it's even better. But I would want to have a pool and a hot tub because you're in the city, it's nice out. All the buildings have the amenities. They might not have this view, but I would rather take a pool and a hot tub if that makes sense. And they do have a sky lounge in here, which everything is key fob access, so it's pretty secure. It's nice to have that in downtown LA. And this is a great space to work. They have Wi-Fi here, plenty of seating, plenty of places to plug in. So I used to sit at that table all the time and do schoolwork, or sometimes I would go over on the seating right here. Sorry, the lighting is bad in here. And I would also work here because you could plug in your computer and sit at the bar stool. It was just nice to get out of the apartment and be able to get actual work done. And I won't lie, half the time I was sitting in these chairs and just looking up at the view and not getting my work done. But you know, sometimes you gotta do that. And even though this area is closed, I still figured I'd give you an idea of what it looks like, because at some point it may be open, even though it doesn't have any water in it. When it did, it was nice to swim in there, look at the view. But my favorite part was actually the hot tub, because especially at nighttime, the views were amazing with all the lights. Now let's head over to the next apartment building. It's actually the building that we saw in the view before. It is that building right there. It is a newer skyscraper. It is 888 at Grand Hope Park. It's definitely going to be a lot more modern than the building we saw before, but I was surprised that it was at least somewhat affordable. A lot of the one bedrooms are in the mid twos, so this layout's going to be pretty similar to the one we saw before. And when you first walk in, it's going to have an L-shaped kitchen, but the appliances are a lot nicer than what we saw in the last building. It was so nice. There's not too much counter space, but the views are amazing in here. They do have the concrete ceilings, which I actually like. And when you get closer to the window, you can just see how much more of the view you can see. In this unit, you're on a lot higher of a floor. You have a lot more buildings to see. It does have plugs in the floor, which would be nice to be able to plug in a lamp or something. And you have plenty of room for a TV, a couch. And then this bedroom, I liked a lot better because the fact that it's more of a box and you could easily fit a king-size bed in there, have the huge windows, have a dresser. They have the built-in blinds so you wouldn't have to install your own. But I'd probably be the person that would probably never close my blinds because the view is amazing. You are overlooking those buildings, but honestly, who cares? You're going to be looking up most of the time and I won't even notice the tops of the buildings. I was a little bit worried about the storage space in these more modern places, and unfortunately it does have a pretty small closet. Especially for the price range, we're talking a good amount more than the last building, and the last building had a walk-in closet. It does have some counter space. It's just definitely, if you had two people, it'd be tight. There is a tub in there, so that is nice. And overall, I would say the unit is just a lot more modern. It has a lot more usable space, just less storage space. It does have an in-unit washer and dryer, though, which the other building did not have. You'd have to go to another floor for it. As for the amenity areas, there's so much place to sit, to work, and they do have a gym space, but it is reserved, so we couldn't see it today. And then they have additional bikes, and then all the rest of the amenities are actually on the building right across. So they have this bridge that connects their two buildings, and it gives all this giant usable space. And it's very similar to a park where you kind of walk through and there's little pockets of spaces that you can hang out in. Like the first pocket had some games, it had a movie screen, and there's other areas where it's just more like sitting lounge spaces, fire pits, grills, all different spaces that allow you to have a little bit more privacy from the rest of the people that live in the building. So instead of being one giant open space where you feel like you're kind of hanging out with everybody, you can have a little bit more privacy with your guests. The one thing about this building though is it's pretty large. So when we got to this pool area, even though it is very nice, it's beautiful, there's a lot of seating. It was a weekday, so I couldn't imagine how busy it would get on a weekend. You probably feel like you wouldn't have enough space. It is really nice though and modern and pretty. And then further into downtown LA, farther from the Staples Center and closer to the restaurant shopping area, there's Roosevelt lofts. This is gonna be the most expensive unit we're going to see, but it is pretty price comparable to the last building. I just want to show you guys what a loft style unit would look like. So it has 2 floors, how much it would cost, and in an upcoming vlog, I'm actually gonna show you guys the penthouse of this building, which is over $7,000. And they do have a Zen garden, which is basically just a seating area with a waterfall. And then in addition to that, they do have a gym with plenty of equipment in there. I was actually surprised that an old building had this much amenities. And we're going to see unit 705. It's around mid $3,000 and it is 2 floors. So they have this open concept kitchen, which I love. There's plenty of seating space, plenty of cabinets, even though one of the cabinets is actually a fridge. And then they have a half bath, which we have not seen anywhere else. So I was so happy to see that. It is great to have for guests. That's the bathroom, you keep extra clean. And there's a staircase to the right. And then out the windows, you don't really see much besides the other building and little peaks of a view. And overall, the layout is a good amount of space. It's a little bit broken up by the stairs. So it's hard to figure out where you put like a TV and couch. And it does have exposed ceilings like the last building, but with more like industrial details and this large staircase going up to the next floor, which I feel like having stairs just makes things feel more homey. I don't know if I'm just the only one. And then this unit actually has a den space. So this is technically the den space right here, but I find that it has a lot more light and it's an easier shape than the bedroom I'm about to show you. So you might want to make this the bedroom over the other space, but either way, it's still a good amount of extra space. And then there is a washer and dryer in unit. So I was so happy to see that. And then the bathroom has 2 doors connecting in. It's kind of an odd bathroom, a little sink with not much counter space at all. And then oddly enough, there is a giant tub, but it's basically in the room. Like, it's not closed off. And then there is a second sink, which I do like, gives you extra space. And especially if you have a partner or someone you're living with in general, it's nice to have that extra sink space. It's just this bedroom is the weirdest shape ever. It's like, would you put the bed over here or over there? Would you want the bed next to the tub or would you want the TV next to the tub? It's like, what do you end up doing? For the rest of the amenities, this building, even though it's old, has a good amount of amenity space. Plenty of seating areas. There's even a full kitchen with a fridge, with a microwave. If you want to spend the whole entire day in the amenity areas, I think you'd have no problem at all because there's plenty of space for you to hang out and for your friends. And it's actually not that big of a building, so I imagine you having most of the space to yourself, and you can even watch movies out here on the couches. And then the rest of the amenities are outside, which I was so glad that even though it's an old building, they took advantage of the roof space and they put a pool up here. Now, it's not a deep pool, but neither were the other buildings we saw, and there's plenty of seating. It's not packed at all. The views are actually pretty good up here. I think it's actually better than the last building we saw, but not as good as the first building, but you can't beat that building. But unlike that building, this building has like indoor-outdoor vibe where you can actually come out here and sit in the shade and not feel like you're basking in the sun all the time. And they do have a ping pong table. I will not be one of those people playing because I epically suck, but you can play and look at the view. And then I was also surprised to see a TV outside. So you could watch movies and be outside instead of being inside. I don't know if you can watch with volume or not. And then they also have fire pits out here. They have grills. So there's plenty of different areas to hang out. And they do have an indoor room that we didn't see. So if you want to be an AC, that is your next best option. So we have officially seen all the units we are going to see today. We got such a varying price range from like the oldest loft building that was so unique and also the most expensive. We got this high skyrise building, which is a completely different vibe. It was tall, new, modern, and then we kind of got that in between where it's not as old of a building, it's a little bit newer, but it's the cheapest one we saw and the cheapest I could find in this like general area. And I will probably do more tour videos coming soon because I love doing this. So please hit that subscribe button down below to join the crazy fam if you haven't already, and hit that like button. It really makes a difference. And I hope you have a great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you crazy fam. I'll see you soon.